Hey y'all, welcome back to the Wade Fishing Experience. Given everything that's going on with red tide in Tampa Bay, I wanted to just take this time today to talk to y'all about what the current state of red tide in Tampa Bay is and what areas of Tampa Bay and sort of the surrounding areas are still fishable. So, as you can see down here on the South Shore, this is where the Piney Point disaster spill happened recently. And that's where the bloom really got started. And what has happened is it has spread north into Tampa Bay and also south all the way down to like Siesta Key and even further south. So right now, we are seeing the blooms push further north into Tampa Bay. Post Elsa, we haven't had a lot of movement north, but there still is some. So as you can see up in Hillsborough Bay too, we have some high concentrations. But this is the Gandy Bridge, and it is not fishable right now. As we found out on last week's episode, it got red tide pretty bad. So I'm avoiding that area now. North of Gandy gets a little bit cloudy in terms of what's really going on. I don't know. I'm still largely avoiding this area. So that is sort of takes the American Legion out of play. Picnic Island is a wasteland, y'all. It's not even worth talking about. So here is I-275, and here's like Cypress Creek. So theoretically, Cypress should be clear, but we were there last weekend, and right as we got off the water, they closed the beach. There really wasn't any signs of red tide there. So I need to get back there and figure out what's going on. If anybody's got any recent intel on that area, please shoot me a message and let me know what's going on. So right now, thankfully, Old Tampa Bay is still looking pretty clear. And here's the Courtney Campbell. And right, so these are either these gray dots are background concentration or Carina brevis was not present, no red tide detected. So that's all good. So let's talk about areas that are still fishable and where you should be targeting right now. Definitely look at the Courtney Campbell. So this is the west side of the Campbell. And this is a good area right here. I'm going to check this area out tomorrow morning. So there could be some fish there. It's got, let's zoom in a little bit here. It's got some deep water right next to the causeway, which is always good. And then you've got sort of this grass flat out here. So my plan is to hit, this channel first, work the edges, and then come out here and get onto this flat and possibly even go over here near the bridge. So that's what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. But in general, there is a ton of places to fish along the causeway. There's not always going to be wade fishing spots per se, but there will be places where you can cast off the rocks and find fish. So definitely check out the Campbell if you're looking for areas to fish right now. Aside from the Courtney Campbell Causeway, there are some spots up into closer to Safety Harbor and up into Safety Harbor that I want to show y'all too. So let's zoom in here on sort of the peninsula here of Oldsmar, and you'll see Mobley Bayou Beach Park. I've not fished this area, but the park opens at 6 a.m. It does close at 6 p.m. I'm not sure of the details there, so this might only be a morning spot. But what I would do if I'm fishing here is two things. I would work south along this mangrove shoreline, and it looks like there's a little bit of grass here, possibly some deeper water, so that could be good. But I would work down towards Booth Point and this sort of area here. I don't know if you can get across to fish the bottom to fish the actual point, but if you can, I mean, I would definitely do that. That is a decent looking area right there. So that's Mobley Bayou Beach Park. That's like the first option from there. The second option would be to go north and fish this small line of docks. You're not going to be able to get too much further than probably the point right here because I think it gets too deep. But that's definitely worth checking out. There should be some good current flow coming around this point. So, you know, the fish theoretically should be holding there. I have been fishing this line of docks, which is farther north from Mobley Bayou Beach Park, which you can access from Veterans Memorial Park, which is right here. This is a cool area. It's holding a lot of bait right now, y'all. White bait and finger mullet. I have seen tarpon on just outside the dock line here. There is some snook around, and I caught just like a bunch of ladyfish and catfish on the last trip. I'll link that in the description below. But if you kind of move west from Veterans, you'll find R.E. Olds Park, which we have fished this general area, but it is a little tougher of a wade. It's a little bit more mucky. I need to do some more recon on this area. But what I like about this is you can kind of just walk along this path and skirt the areas that you can't, that you really can't wade or can't access. And then you can come out onto this flat down here. And why I like this flat here is because you're in proximity to some, like, this is kind of like a little, almost like a little creek, but looks like some deeper water. And then of course over here, where you've got this little canal kind of system that feeds back into here, there's definitely some deeper water. So I think there will be some fish holding in these general areas here. Even further west from there, sort of come down here, and we will find Felipe Park and Felipe Point. I went to fish Felipe once this winter, and the weather was just, the wind was blowing in the opposite direction than what I thought it was. So I left. I've not fished it. But anytime you have a point like this, it's intriguing for sure. Should be good current flow. Looks like there's some decent grass here. And then if you work north, there's just like some really good mangrove shoreline and like another point. So I would definitely consider Felipe Point and Park as a good area to check out right now as well. And then finally, if you go even further south, you will run into Cooper Bayou, or Cooper's Bayou down here. And Cooper's Bayou Park offers access to this little stretch of water. Now, I don't know how wadeable this is. I got a little bit of intel on the area. It sounds like it's a little mucky, but I'm hoping it would clear up as you get closer up here to this point. Let me zoom in. As you can see, there is a decent amount of oysters right here and some grass and the mouth of Alligator Lake. So those are some areas right now, y'all, with red tide that you can fish, that you can check out, that you can explore. It's just a bad situation right now, y'all. If you haven't, just please pray about this, man. There's not a whole lot we can do. If you're not a member of CCA or Tampa Bay Waterkeepers, I encourage you to check out those sites. I will link them below as well. But again, y'all, just going back to the map, the red tide map, I mean, it's depressing all throughout Tampa Bay, all throughout St. Pete. And I've heard really bad reports from downtown St. Pete and surrounding areas. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have any words of wisdom about, how long this is going to take or what, what it's going to take to get rid of it. Generally, this bloom isn't as bad this early in the summer as it is. Obviously, things were exacerbated by Piney Point. So I really do feel like that is why we're seeing the severity of the levels that we're seeing now. But just join me in prayer for our estuary, y'all. And I will try to do one video a week just dedicated to talking about red tide and the developments and what areas are still fishable around Tampa Bay and the surrounding waters. So I really appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and appreciate all the support. Cheers, y'all.